Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and today we're going to do something a little bit different. You see, in many cases when you ask Warhammer 40k fans what their favourite games are, they'll often refer to the first Dawn of War, either just the vanilla base game or any of its expansions. Originally released in 2004, Dawn of War and its expansions had beat the plague of the Warhammer game, and with that I'm saying that the game was actually good, and it was very well received. It spawned 2 sequels, both drastically changing the game, but many fans often return to the first games of the series. This is also paired with the fact that modders have taken this game under their wing and have dramatically changed it over the years, often adding in new playable races and new playable factions. Now what you're seeing on screen right now is perhaps the most impressive series of them all in regards to Soulstorm. A absolutely massive mod, which not only improves upon the vanilla races, but also adds in 17 new playable races and factions, each of which, like the vanilla races, have their own distinct and unique playstyles. There is a lot to discuss, and I do have planned to release multiple videos regarding this mod, more specifically some faction focuses to show you on how each of the races and factions play. But until then, let me explain to you as to what you can more or less expect from this mod as we go over some of the uniquely added character models. So what does this mod include exactly? Well, first and foremost, all of the 9 vanilla races have received updates. They've each received new units, art, upgrades, and so on. This is to bring them on par with the uniquely added units through this mod. It makes sense that the 9 vanilla races themselves have received a huge update, as there are now 17 other races and factions added through this mod. The Dark Angels, the Witch Hunters, Adeptus Mechanicus, Emperor's Children, Inquisition Demon Hunters, Imperial Fists, Salamanders, Steel Legion, Harlequins, Thousand Sons, Legion of the Damned, 13th Company Space Wolves, Blood Angels, Chaos Demons, World Eaters, Black Templars, and Tyranids. This takes Dawn of War Soulstorm up to a whopping 26 playable factions. You may have noticed that there are a bunch of Astartes factions included in that list, and don't worry, they're not all copy-pastes from the standard Space Marine faction. All of them play drastically different from each other, whereas the Imperial Fists will focus around sieging. Yes, the meme is also here too. Space Wolves will have a very strong emphasis in melee combat, and so on and so forth. If you're a fan of the lore or in the tabletop, you will more or less be acquainted with each of the different races and factions. As you've been seeing so far through this video, many of these races and factions have been given a bunch of lore-friendly units. What you can expect on the tabletop is more or less what you can expect here. And yes, this also includes some Primaris Adeptus Astartes. Now, some of the character models themselves are much better than others. I'm assuming this could be due to game engine limitations. But given the fact that this game series itself is almost 20 years old, it's actually incredibly impressive as to how detailed some of these character models can be. The uniquely added units, races, and factions have also received their own custom dialogue. It's incredibly immersive to get them sounding as they should, though a slight word of warning that the Slaaneshi voice lines can be a tad cringy. Of course, the mod itself is mostly centered around custom standard battles and multiplayer battles, but you are also more than able to play the campaign, which many people do enjoy. Of course, bear in mind that you will not be able to use any of the uniquely added races or factions. However, the campaign is still incredibly enjoyable with all the quality of life changes for the 9 vanilla races. When it comes to how it is lore-friendly wise, the mod itself stays very true to the lore. There are some changes here and there, but very minor ones, but you can very much tell that the team behind the Unification mod are very much into their Warhammer. On screen right now is a screenshot showing off the highlights for Unification 5.9. As you can see, an absolute load of stuff has been added in, not only just for basic gameplay, but also new game modes. The modes themselves are still experimental and obviously are still a work in progress, but it's absolutely amazing that a modding team has been able to add in more game modes into a already, well, pretty ancient game. Of course, as I've said before, the mod is absolutely massive. It was only released just last month, and it's taken a fair amount of my own time as I've been playing and learning through the other races and factions that have been added in. Personally, one of my favorite factions added in is that of the Imperial Fists, which seems to be very much inspired by their 30k iteration. On screen right now is just some basic gameplay as I was playing alongside an AI Steel Legion facing against a horde of Tyranids. It's very obvious just from these clips that the Imperial Fists will not play like the other Space Marine factions. This is focused around sieging while simultaneously having a strong offense and defense versus a lot of different enemies. We'll of course have faction focus videos soon enough, but in short I was able to enjoy quite a defensive type of gameplay, building up some towers and just watching the enemy charge into me and to a full gun line. Think about it in a very similar way to how early 9th edition was for the Space Marines, a bunch of infantry firing and waiting for the enemy to come right to them. By the time that they get to you, you've most likely either eliminated the basic forces or just taken them down to such a point that melee will not be a problem. The mod itself is absolutely fantastic and brings a fresh coat of life to Dawn of War Soulstorm, not only with all the races and factions added in, but also with AI improvements. Now your enemy factions, if you're playing against computers, won't just spam the same unit over and over again. If you're looking for a reason to come back to Dawn of War, I do highly recommend this mod. The link to it will be found in the description below. It's great to see Dawn of War getting so much love even after so many years. While it may be many years until we get some RTS in the Warhammer 40k universe of this sheer scope and scale, it's great to see that modders want to give new life to such a classic game. Now, before we end this video, there is one thing important to note. This is more specifically to any possible content creators or streamers. If you're going to stream or make content on this mod, make sure that you turn off the in-game music. A lot of the soundtrack included through this mod is not streamer friendly, and you will have some issues with claims on YouTube, and I believe there's some sort of DMCA stuff going around on Twitch. It's just a friendly bit of warning, as I know that a lot of mainstream media such as Eurogamer have started covering this mod, and it's very likely that content creators will look towards covering this mod, so naturally I would want to warn my peers, as obviously I am aware that this can cause issues to channel growth and so on. But with all that being said, do not be discouraged. The mod itself is absolutely amazing. It's something that I'm finding myself play during a lot of my free time, and the reason why I've yet to create a video until now is literally because of that. And just a general note here, nothing is more satisfying than recruiting a Primarch from one of the Astartes chapters and having them completely demolish enemy armies. Be warned though, they are powerful but not invulnerable. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various links to different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Also in the description section is an affiliate link with Element Games where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Making a purchase using that link and also our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A big thank you to Gibraltar LUSC, Ryan Bertsche, Andrew Prince, and Okro for subscribing to us at our Fane level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule, VS Vasan, Aaron Whitman, and Shaggy for subscribing to us at our King level. Honestly, we can't thank you all enough. And lastly, a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing and commenting on these videos. Honestly, it's because of you guys that the channel's been growing at such a great pace lately, so we can't thank you all enough. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.